Pupils have begun reporting at the nearby Ngong Forest Primary School after the government shut down their school days after the tragedy.
Makori Ngechi is at the school in Makori. Are there enough places for the new pupils? Of course, we understand that they are supposed to be reporting to that school, 480 of them. We've seen some of the efforts that the Ministry of Education has been putting over the weekend. Are they reporting? Makori, if you can hear me, we understand that you're the Ngong Forest Primary School, and we know that the Ministry of Education has said that 480 pupils will be reporting to that school. They have 6 vacant classes. We saw the Ministry of Education supplying desks on Saturday. Are they reporting as advised by the Ministry?
Well, good morning, Sam. Yes, I'm at Ngong Forest Primary School, and so far I'm told only 3 students or pupils have reported in spite of the huge number. That is the spaces of 480 primary pupils who are expected to be joining this school this morning. But I'm told again the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Professor George Magoha, was here at around 6:30 a.m. just passing through a number of schools in this area, Ngong Forest being one of them, which of course was expected to receive the highest number of those students who are from the Precious Talent School that are following that incident. But so far, of course, like you can see behind me, Sam, is a number of books, that is textbooks, that were issued by the Ministry of Education, awaiting, of course, those pupils who are expected to be here by this morning. And of course, we have been told that the Teachers Service Commission this morning transferred 6 teachers to this school just to ensure that immediately those learners walk in or come to fill the spaces here, then the teacher-student ratio is or will be enough. And so we are told the ministry, the CS will be passing around the schools that were affected and also checking through the schools where the children are expected to be transferred to. But of course, we also passed through some of those schools, including Jamhuri Primary School, where there were a bit some activity compared to this place where we are currently. And of course, in Jamhuri we had seen about 50 pupils who had walked in. Again, questions have come up whether by the government or the ministry is saying that there are spaces at Ngong Forest Primary, Jamhuri, whether it was up to parents to decide where their children were to head. And some, like you said, remember the CS had indicated on Friday that they were expecting all this year's candidates from Precious Talent School were to be transferred here. But up to now, there is no candidate who has reported here. The children who have reported, the 3 that I've talked about, are for lower primary, that is for grade 3 learners. And so we are following to see whether as the day progresses the children will walk in, or maybe, as we have been told, it could continue throughout the week, whether that number that the government targets, that's the 480, will report here, and whether the other children will be moving to the other schools. That's what we will be following on this day. But again, we've told the school that was closed down in Kibra that we have experienced up to 200 pupils moving to Ayanyi Primary, those who are transferred, of course, following that school that was closed also on Thursday. And so, Sam, let's wait and see what comes up. Of course, we are seeing 1 parent at a time walking in at this Ngong Forest Primary. We will be following to see whether that number increases as the day progresses.
All right, Makori, you've been covering this story the entire week, that is last week and until now. So when you listen to the parents of Precious Talents top school, some of them are saying that the distance between their homes and the Ngong Forest is too far for them to trek every morning. What options do they have? Because, I mean, if you are supposed to have received all the candidates, the KCP candidates at that school by now, what options do they have that they might be considering and not to take the Ngong Forest offer? And
perhaps do we also know if the other 6 teachers that were coming from the Precious Top Talent School have also been confirmed at the school?
Well, Sam and Zinzi, of course we have drove through the Ngong Forest also coming to this school, and part of the question that one will raise is the security of those children walking through the forest. Is quite some distance maybe for children, especially the lower primary kids who might be walking through the forest. Is a distance of about 2-3 kilometers, and now maybe walking through that path every morning, and maybe because we have not seen any public transport operating here, hence the question how those children may be moving to this school. Like I said, Zinzi, on the question you're asking about the candidates and the 60 students or teachers who are supposed to be here, it's only 3 learners who have reported here alongside their parents, who of course might have not spoken to us. But the details we have is that remember on Friday, of course, during that burial ceremony of the children that lost their lives, the area MP had hinted that they were planning to come up with a structure at the same place, maybe to ensure that learning takes place. And so there is some bit of confusion. And of course this morning we are told about 30 parents went to Precious Talent School to ask what was the progress. This despite the government of course saying that that school was closed or closing down the school. So there is some bit of confusion, of course, especially following some of those statements that were made on Friday, with some parents of course still not sure whether there is some structure that is coming up at Precious Talent School. But as for now, we are told maybe the ministry is also working around to see that those students, and especially candidates who are expected to see their national exams in a few days, are relocated or come to study. Whether they will be here at Ngong Forest Primary or whether they will go to Jamhuri Primary and Satellite Riruta Primary, where they were required to move, of course we will see how that number will be distributed throughout the day and probably throughout the week. Sam?